stuff. Really just pique your curiosity about everything in the world around us. So today we're going to be doing all about tracks and tracking. So first question, you guys said that you saw a red fox, right? Just walking around your street. And as Grace said, that's actually pretty rare. Usually you don't see foxes that often, especially gray foxes. Because they kind of like to stay alone. So it's pretty cool that you saw them. But if we had a fox nearby, what are some of the signs that you might look for to have us know that there's a fox nearby? Yeah.
Call the vet. Call the vet.
Call the vet. Maybe the vet might know some information. What about some things that you might see or smell or hear? If you were outside and you wanted to know if a fox was nearby.
Poop. Go to the bathroom. Then go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Be with their family, looking for food.
So maybe if you see the types of foods that foxes eat, which foxes eat, they're called opportunistic feeders. So they'll eat anything, kind of like raccoons. Usually they'll try to eat more so meats, but it's not uncommon if they eat berries. And if you leave your trash out, they might come in and eat some of your trash or leftover pizza the next day. So they're very opportunistic feeders. So yeah, you might be able to see some of their food nearby. I think you mentioned their poop, right? Their scat. So that term scat. So if you see scat nearby, like a red fox, you would know that. What about what do foxes live in?
Den.
Yeah, den.
A den. So you might see a fox den. That might be a good sign there that a fox is nearby. What about one more thing that you might notice? There's some stuff here around the room that might be a good sign that a fox is nearby.
Footprints?
Footprints, yeah, so tracks. And that's what today is going to be all about, is tracks. So let's take a look at some of the tracks we have here. So we have, this is a dog track and a cat track. What are some of the differences that you see between the two?
Because the dog got nails and the cat don't.
The dog has nails, is that what you said?
It's like a little bumps.
Yeah, so the padding's a little different. What else maybe about their toes that you see?
That the cat's is going like this way and the dog's is going like straight.
Yeah, so kind of going in more versus the cats are going out more, a little spaced apart. Yeah. Anything else you might notice?
That one, not all the way around, but maybe all around.
This is a little more rounder. These ones look a little more pointier, but these ones are a little more oval, if that makes sense. Yeah, do you know why maybe you might see the nails on the dog tracks versus the nails on the cat tracks?
So when they dig.
When they dig, yeah, but you would see that, but maybe, do you have a cat or dog at home?
Cat.
A cat? Okay, so what happens whenever a cat is either kneading or a cat is maybe angry? What happens?
The cat's mad, they bring out their claws.
Yeah, so usually cats, whenever they're walking around and they're not scared or anything, they keep their claws in, and their claws are retractable. So you're not going to see usually some cat nail imprints in your tracks. Versus dogs, they can't retract their claws, so you're going to see that. Now, I have another print here. Looks kind of similar to the dogs, I think, but there are some differences. So let's take a look. Can you guys find any differences in the dog tracks versus our fox track?
Dog's nails are closer to the oval, and this one is like longer and wider.
A little more pointier. What else do you notice?
And for the fox's toes is different how this one is, because this one's not oval, and some are, and some is not. Some is circles, and these ones are all ovals.
Yeah, these ones seem to look a little bit bigger, I would say, closer together. What about that big heel pad there versus this pad?
The pad's little, and the dog's pad is bigger.
Yeah, so there are some differences between a fox track and a dog track. But if you saw it out in nature or on a hike, in a regular sand or ground or whatever, these might look very similar. But there are some ways that you can distinguish between the two. And one of the really cool ways is if you could imagine drawing a line, an X. So an X here and here. And now if I draw this X here,
It'll go on the pad.
yeah, so that's one of the ways if you ever see maybe some blades of grass outside and you see a track and you don't know if it's a dog or fox, you can take those blades of grass and make an X. And if it does not intersect any of the pads, then it's a fox. And if it does, it's most likely a dog. Another way to tell too is if you look at these outer two toes, here and here and here and here, if I make a line straight across, it's not intersecting anything, right, on the fox?
But it's like almost cut in the middle.
Yeah, so if it intersects any of the padding on the dog, or if it intersects any of the padding on the track, it's a dog. If it doesn't, it's a fox. So you're doing really good at this. Now, what might make it a little bit difficult to see a track on the ground?
Gray.
What was that?
Gray.
If it's like gray in color, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else? Maybe depending on the type of ground too. So what type of ground do you think makes it easier to see a track versus another ground that might make it a little bit harder?
Snow make it easier and dirt wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean I see deer tracks all the time in the snow at my house. So you can definitely see those. And you can also tell with snow tracks too maybe how heavy the animal is. If you know it's going really deep in, you know it's a heavier animal. But if you see little light tracks that aren't really going into the snow too much, it's probably a smaller animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
But another way we can look at the tracks is, sometimes it can be difficult, depending on the type of substrate we have. It might make it difficult for that animal to make a track. Maybe that animal put their foot down and turned around and pivoted, so it makes it more difficult. Maybe that track is old. Maybe rain came and washed it away a little bit. And who knows? But another way to distinguish for what that animal is and what type of track that is to maybe look for a pattern. And to look for these, you're going to look at a trackway. Now, a trackway can help you determine that animal's gait. Do you know what a gait is?
A gate, a regular gate.
A gait, so like an animal's gait. So, do you know what an animal's gait is? So an animal's gait is basically how they walk. So we have 4 different types of animal gaits up here. This one is called a diagonal. So these are diagonal walkers, and usually those ones are a lot of your hoofed animals, so your deer you might see. Dogs and cats like to walk like this. Now I'm going to demonstrate this, so bear with me, but to explain a little bit about it first, if you can imagine an animal taking their front leg and then taking their opposite back leg and moving those at the same time, and then placing their back leg where their front leg was. That's how diagonal walkers walk. You can kind of see it here, how you don't really see 4 sets of imprints. You see really only 1 on each side. So let's see, after I do this, do you want to try to give it a go? All right. Parents, if you do this, grandparents, adults, you might want to stretch out. So, all right, I'm your cat at home, okay? Do you see how I'm placing my feet right where my paws were? Like my front paws? Yeah, so those are diagonal walkers. Do you want to give it a go?
That looks like it could be.
Yeah, so the cool thing is like there's no right or wrong. Like you can just come up with ideas, and then if you notice tracks in a spot, you can come back, and then you can like, if you're still sometimes, you can see like animals running back or forth, and you can kind of gauge what might have been happening. Like we can imagine there's like a little stream here with water, and so it's up to you to find the tracks. Yeah, and then you can look at the gate and look at the, you can pick up the little footprints if you want, or look around at the animal examples and see what kind of match you could find. And then there's a story that happened. So something happened in this scene. And you can look at the tracks to kind of see what that was. Yeah. So use the books, use the
And we have a lot of resources here.
specimens. Yeah. Which ones look like the fox ones? Those ones. Yeah. Yeah, do you see this? It's very clear. Are there any other animals here besides the
There's
fox?
3 and there's 4 in this.
Yeah.
And if you're out on a hike or in nature, a lot of the times this is what the tracks will end up looking like
Yeah.
in real life. So they can be a little tricky. That's why it's really good to look for patterns in that
Here's the
gate.
other part.
Yeah. So we know there's a fox there. Are there any other shapes you see?
This one.
Right, so you're noticing like a longer back foot that doesn't look like the fox. Yeah. And I almost see like,
It's light, you can see it. It's just a hole. And feel free to try out all these tracks, whatever you want. Look around and then we'll move on to the next activity in about 7 minutes or so.
it's almost like fur. Oh, here you go. There's scraping on there. And he kind of looks like when you have an itchy back and you scratch it just the right way. That's what his face is showing me. I'm like, so it must feel good to get that relief. And then their antlers can grow really big.
They both got different ones.
Yeah. And this one, yeah.
This part bumpy.
That is really bumpy. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Treasure, and I'm in the 4th grade. And I really love the Nature 360 program. And I hope to come back. I loved it very much. And I want to come back.
So this is Nature 360. It's all about getting kids and adults to work together to engage with nature so then they can be the change. We do really cool things. We curate different mounts and skeletons and really cool things, nature related. It's once a month. Kids, parents, adults come in, work together. We have a lot of cool stuff, and then they can go outside to apply that knowledge in the real world.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Enjoyed
Thank you.
being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.